Right, hello and welcome to another Expert Inside interview. My name is John Golden from SalesPOP, online sales magazine and Pipeliner CRM, joining you as usual from a sunny San Diego. And today I'm delighted to be able to welcome back to the podcast Shawn Quintero. Actually, where are you today, Shawn?
I am at home in Southern California as well, my friend.
Oh, which part are you?
So I am in Riverside County,
All right, you're
which
not
is
that.
about
Yeah.
maybe an hour and 45 minutes away from
No, no,
San
I
Diego.
know it well. I know you're not that far away at all. And Sean, as he's been on the show before, but Sean, to remind you, is a serial entrepreneur, master coach, and mentor, serves on boards and in executive leadership positions across his multiple businesses. He's a leading expert in the field of AI, business operations, coaching, and digital launch strategy. And what we wanted to talk today is about the seven-figure launch, how Sean and they were able to, and his team were able to generate thousands of leads and multiple six figures in just 2 weeks. So, uh, and as we were just talking off air, they have a very specific approach and a very specific way they do it. So I'm really fascinated because I know today people are just interested in any story, any positive stories they hear about people who are able to generate leads, because we are definitely living in a lead poverty world today.
Yeah, I'm excited because this works for a lot of service-based businesses, and I know you have a lot of really great people listening in. So,
Mhm.
if you are somebody who has a service, it is a really good service. Like you can get people results, and as soon as you start working with someone, whether it's their business, their life, their relationships, their wealth, their finances, whatever it is you support them with, that you can change their lives in that category, then I want you to really tune in and lean in because we're going to dive real deep today.
Excellent. So, so talk to me a little bit about how your approach to generating leads and the type of business and the type of prospects that this works for.
Yeah. So if you're a service based business, this is going to work for you. Essentially, what we do is we help identify the first thing. We start kind of from backwards going forwards. The very first thing is what is it you're actually selling and who are you selling to? If you don't know who you're selling to, then what's going to happen is any type of marketing you do is going to sound very generic. It's going to
Mhm.
sound vague. It's going to sound like you're trying to reach everybody, which means you're not reaching anybody. And so instead, what we want to do is we want to really nail in that who. Who is it that you're trying to target? Because you want your message to both repel the wrong people and
Right.
attract the right people. So we identify that who and we get very specific. Of course, we're diving into demographics, which
Mhm.
are simply things about the client, their
Yeah.
location, their gender identity, their financial status, their relationship status, etc. We're also diving into psychographics, right? What are their values? What are their buying behaviors? What are their beliefs around the brand that you bring to the table? And then we're also looking at buying patterns and financial patterns. So we're taking a look at their ability to make a purchasing decision and how quickly they can make that purchasing decision. And we identify that who first. Then we identify what are the reasons why they would buy your thing. Why are they going to buy your service? Why are they going to buy it from you? And why are they going to buy it today? We
Mm.
want to bridge that gap really clearly. Otherwise, we're just kind of trying to fit a key into whatever door we can find, as opposed to finding doors and then crafting a key specifically for that door.
Yeah.
So, why are they
So
going to buy?
just one of the things that you mentioned at the beginning, I just wanted to pick up on because I think it's such a critical thing, and I think a lot of people overlook this. Is we're all so obsessed about attracting that we don't think about repelling. Because
Mm,
that's kind of counterintuitive to us, but you're not going to narrow your focus and get to the right people if you don't repel the wrong people.
100%. So, as an example, the most recent client that we've worked with was a real estate agent, a team leader, and a really successful team leader. And one of the things we started doing with their social media was we started to create repellent language. In other words, we would always include either a PS or somewhere in their post something that would repel the wrong people. For
Mm.
example, we would put PS if you're someone who just wants to tour 20 houses just for fun, I'm not the agent for you.
Yeah.
But if you're ready to invest and make your first purchase as a first time home buyer in the next 3 to 6 months, reach out to me today. Right? It's
Mm.
repelling the wrong people. You just want to kind of waste time and tour all of
Yeah.
the houses, and attracting the right people. You are a first time home buyer. You want to make a purchasing decision within 3 to 6 months, and you want to like get started today. So
Mm.
you want to include that repellent language as well. And what we find is it becomes magnetic. When you repel really effectively, you attract also really effectively. So start with the repellent and you'll naturally create an attraction.
Yeah, and that's cool because that's so, as I said, it's so counterintuitive, but it makes so much sense, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, what you're actually saying is to the first time buyer, you're saying, I'm an expert in this. I'm an expert, So if you just want to go look at houses, fine. But if you're a first time buyer, there's a lot of things that first time buyers don't know, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I remember when we bought our first house, I'm like about six houses later now. We've moved so many times, but the first time you're kind of clueless. So even engaging with somebody who is a generalist and who's like a great realtor may not be the right choice for you because they may not want to invest the time in educating you.
Exactly. And for that specific example, right? If you're listening to this and you are actively creating social media content, make sure you have that repellent and attraction marketing language. And then also create a very clear call to action so that piece of content can become a lead generator for you.
Mm.
I don't want a like generator. I don't care if I get 100,000 likes and none of them turn into real leads. If I get 10 likes, but also 10 leads, that means that's a much more meaningful impact to my business. So, what I mean by that is at the very end, give a very clear call to action that gives value. So, in this real estate agent example, if you're just looking for 20 house tours, that's not me. If you're looking to
Mm.
make a purchasing decision in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm your guy or I'm your girl. Uh, if you want the 7-part checklist, that every home buyer needs in
Mm.
order to not put a 20% deposit, but even as little as 3% deposit for your first home, DM me the word checklist and I'll get that to you.
Yeah.
So now we're moving people from just liking a piece of content to a conversation in the DMs.
Yeah.
And now any person who responds to that, any person who DMs it, is a genuine lead. Not
Mhm.
only that, we also find that when we're creating this really repellent attraction and clear call to action content, it becomes really shareable.
Right.
So if I know somebody who's a first time home buyer and they really want to be educated on that checklist, guess what I'm doing? I'm sending that piece of content to them. I'm
Yeah.
pressing that share button, and that's a really high quality engagement. So you're going to
Yeah.
start seeing more people seeing your content because the algorithm says, wow, this is shareable. Let's share it with more people.
Yeah, and let's face it, and again, that taps into something that's very inherently human, isn't it? Because we love to be an expert or a pseudo expert or to share. We go, oh, Sean, oh, you're buying your first home. Oh, yeah, when we were buying our first home, we used this checklist, we used this, it was great, and everything, and we get really, really excited and very invested because just as humans, we love doing that because we'll love you later come back saying, oh, thanks, John, for that referral. That was fantastic. And really, now we're selling for the realtor.
Exactly. Exactly. So my recommendation, take a look at this is an easy fix for you.
Mhm.
Take a look at the last 5 pieces of content you published and ask yourself, am I repelling? Am I attracting? And is there a clear way for someone to read this and reach out to me? If
Mm.
not, make those edits. Start including that in your pieces of content. So that's kind of a really quick win. What we do in order to generate a lot of activity and a lot of engagement is we do what's called a conversion event, and we do 3 to 5 day challenges. Now, some people do webinars, some people do intensive, some people do master classes. We find challenges to be really successful. So once you've identified your who and you've identified why they will buy your service, why they'll buy it from you, and why they should buy it today, then what we do is we begin to identify, okay, what are the real problems they're facing right now? What are the pain points that they're experiencing? For example, I have a challenge called the One Client Away Challenge. It's a
Mm.
sales sprint. It's 5-day sales sprint. Over the next 5 days, we're gonna do revenue generating activities. The problem we solve is the lack of clarity on what do I do today to land a client.
Mm,
That is the problem we solve. What do I do today to land a client? So in that 5-day challenge, we are solving that problem. We're telling you exactly on Monday, here's what you do. On Tuesday, here's what you do. It's a direct activity to client action. Now, we're solving that problem because that's the first problem, but our services that we sell solve the second problem.
mhm,
And that's the key. Is you want to create a challenge that solves the first problem and then sell what the next problem becomes. For people within our one client away challenge, their next problem becomes onboarding, having a system that can do those RGAs or revenue generating activities,
mm,
being able to fulfill without burning out. And guess what? We have systems that we sell that solve those problems. So once we solve your first problem, let's now sell the longer term problem. So what my recommendation is for anyone listening is ask yourself, what are some real problems you can solve? Do it within a 3 to 5 day challenge, and then sell your service as the solution to the next problem.
mhm. And what's really what I love about that, but also I love the focus because I do think that that's the thing. That's one thing that just kills people is because we try to do too many things at once, and if we're not seeing, and we feel if we're just focusing on one thing that that's not enough because we should be doing all these other things. But by splitting it up and making it laser focused, like daily doing these things, I feel like that people are you're just going to get so much more value out of that because it's forcing you to focus, and I think lack of focus is such a killer.
Oh, a million if you're trying to chase 2 rabbits, you catch none,
Yeah.
right? You're trying to do too much, you're not gonna do much of anything.
Hmm.
So, the reason why it works so well for us is because it is hyper specific, it is hyper focused, and we're not trying to solve every problem. We're
Right.
trying to solve one problem. And here's what's exciting is the challengers, the people who participate, they start feeling momentum, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm solving this one problem, I can solve the next one." And so there's a built-in belief that gets built, that this kind of momentum that gets built so that when you do make an offer and say, "Hey, I can continue helping you," there's a natural yes involved. Like it's the natural next step.
And it's a yeah, and it kind of comes back to the process, doesn't it? In many ways, it's like because we just tend to a lot of people tend to see process as an enemy, or if they're a small business or a service business or an entrepreneur, they think like I don't have time for process. I'll do all of that. Process will come later when we're bigger. Right now, we just need to run around like headless chickens.
Yes. And it's very common for all entrepreneurs to wear 17 different hats,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
And then you don't recognize what hat is the most meaningful for you.
Right.
And if you're just getting started, oftentimes it's the sales hat. You just got to go get sales. You got to go
Yeah.
make more money. And then the next problem becomes the eyeball problem, is what we call it. Is how do you get more eyeballs on your stuff? How do you get more people to see your things? And that's kind of the next part of this process. You have the challenge. Now you have to figure out how do I actually get people to take the challenge? And we have
Mhm.
kind of a three-pronged system. The first is all organic social media. So I have a personal brand, and so I leverage my Facebook profile, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and in a very similar way that we described before. Except we're not saying DM us checklist. We're saying,
Mhm.
are you interested in taking a 5-day challenge? Let us know and we'll get you the link. So all of our organic leads to the challenge. And then we do affiliates. So all the people who take the challenge have a chance to become a
Mm.
referral partner of ours.
Right.
We give them a unique link and then we pay 10% plus on commission. So anybody who signs up with a link, they are able to get paid if that person purchases. And then so number one is organic social. Number two is affiliates, and then number three is email marketing. So we have a email list, and oftentimes your email list is getting your newsletter, they're getting your
Yeah.
promotions. We like leading with value. Is hey, we're going to do this event for free, and as an opportunity to be a part of our. If you're already a part of our email newsletter, guess what? We're going to throw in this bonus. Thank
Right.
you for being a part of our world. And now
Mm.
we're leading with value and giving them incentive to join our challenge.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that kind of leading with value because I mean, a lot of times people just say like, "Here, sign up for my newsletter. Sign up for my newsletter. You'll get all the." Yeah, what? I'll get a newsletter. Thanks. I mean, why do I need? I mean, why do I need another newsletter? Right? It's like there's no, people don't sell the newsletter. They just kind of, just kind of put it in front of you and say, "Here, sign up."
Yeah, yeah. So if you lead with value with that newsletter, and it goes across board. If you're leading with value on your social media, people are
Hmm.
more likely to engage. That can be a free resource. With ChatGPT and AI, it's so easy to create resources now
Yeah.
and to refine your resources. So go create something and then offer it for free as an incentive for taking your challenge.
Mm.
We have scripts that we give away for free. Here's a sales script, here's an intro script, here's the first question you should ask. We'll give it to you in the challenge. So everything's leading to the challenge. We get people on that challenge. They get to interact with me and my team, and now they're building a relationship with me. So when I do make an offer, it's like, oh yeah, of course, I want to continue to be a part of Sean's world.
Yeah, and then like I was always loved that you have scale there behind you because one of the other things that is a massive challenge, and anybody who's done this will know, is when you start a business either on your own or a small business with a couple of people, as you said, your first hat is sales, right? Sales, sales, sales. But then the problem is you sell something. And now you have to deliver it, right? Or you have to do, and suddenly then you're so focused on the delivery, your sales have gone, and
Yeah.
now you've delivered that, and so you go through these horrible peaks and valleys. And what
Yeah.
you're talking about here is if you're smart enough, like there's a lot of things that can help you iron that out by automation and technology.
Yeah. We have something called the BOAT method when it's all about scaling. And BOAT stands for BOAT, which is what we're doing something that we can batch. That's B.
Mhm. Right,
Something we're doing, something we can outsource to someone else who's better.
right.
That's O. Is there something that a system can automate? That's
Mhm.
A. Or is this even making a difference or can we terminate it? And that's T. So
Right.
batch, outsource, automate, terminate, and we do the batch method, or sorry, the boat method on everything we do. So with our challenge, there are certain things we do every single time, and we ask ourselves: This is batchable, outsourceable, automatable, or terminatable? I don't know if that's a word, but that
Yeah.
is now.
And I will hazard a guess, right, that the toughest part of that acronym there is the terminate, right? Because we hate giving up on things, right? We hate to we just go, oh, maybe just one more month, maybe just one more week, maybe we just need to adjust the audience a little more. It's that thing. We're horrible at stopping doing things, and that's where the whole sunk cost like concept comes from. We're terrible. We just keep dumping money, and it could be just time and resources, which is money, into something because we're just so afraid of cutting it off.
Yeah, and one of my favorite activities to facilitate with a board of executives or a
Mhm,
team of employees is to go in and ask everyone if there's one rule within this company that we can terminate right now. We can
mhm,
eliminate it, whether it's a process, a report you're doing, like this workload that you're doing. If there's one thing we can stop doing, what would it be? And everyone has to agree on what that is. And the CEO, the COO can't have an input on this.
mhm.
So the employees come up with this rule and then they eliminate it for 60 days. And guess what happens? Productivity goes up.
Yeah.
And the CEO realizes after 60 days, oh, we really actually didn't need to do that
Mhm.
report. Nobody's even looking at it. The amount of employees that are doing work because we
Oh,
think it's important, but it's not actually making a difference is enormous.
oh,
So the
absolutely.
Yeah,
No, I agree with you. One of my favorite when I used to do strategy sessions, either with my own executive teams or in a consulting role, was exactly that. You go to set and you say, okay, what are everybody's ideas for what we can do and what we want to do next year and all that, and the board is full. You've got whiteboards full of ideas, and then you go, okay, fine. Now, what are we going to stop doing?
yeah.
And there's silence. Right? And you go, this is all great, but we can't start any of this till we get rid of things.
So good. So good. I love it.
But yeah, it is funny how much of a struggle that can be for people, though.
Yeah. And it reminds me of a story of a rowing team, and you may have heard of this team, but they had not won the Olympics for over 100 years. And so they identified this new coach identified one question they would ask every single day. And this by answering this one question, it would help them win the Olympics. And that one question was, does this make the boat row faster? So
Mm,
anything they did, from the clothes they wore to the how they got ready for the day, to whether they chose to go to the gym or go to the party, to what they ate, all of it was under the umbrella of, does this make the boat row faster?
mm,
That year, after asking that question every single day, really drilling it into every single team member on that team to ask that every single day, is what you're doing right now gonna make the boat row faster? They ended up winning the Olympics that year for the first time in 100 years, and it was because they stopped doing everything else, focused on just one thing, and then actually got rid of things. They started taking different pieces of equipment or clothes off. They started
right.
saying, "Okay, this is what's not gonna help. Let's move that." And I think it's Warren Buffett who came up with the inversion principle, who said, let's figure out all the ways we can fail and remove that rather than asking, what are all the ways we can succeed and adding that. And so
Mm.
that's what he does is he says, how could we fail at this? And then let's go in and remove all those ways we can fail, because then success becomes inevitable.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great approach because yeah, because we're so good at adding. We love adding, and as humans, I don't know why it is we love to complicate things too. I mean, it seems like the simplest and most logical path is just like horrendous to most people. They want to go off and build exceptions into everything.
Yes, 100%. And I think it's, like, just part of a natural evolution of things,
Yeah.
is things get more complicated and complex as they grow,
Hmm.
unless you really hone in and become really disciplined.
Yeah.
Growth is gonna be expensive, scale is gonna be chaotic, unless you make the decision that we're gonna do less, and by simplifying, we're gonna scale.
Yeah, your story reminds me of we've had a guest on the show. Actually, I hadn't had him on for a few years. I must contact him again. But he's the oldest guy to do the Winter Olympics, and he's attended I don't know how many now. He's from Argentina, but he was living in
Oh, wow.
Texas. He decided he looked up. He wanted to do the Olympics. Discovered Summer Olympics kind of hard to get into. Winter Olympics not so hard. So he decided to take up luge right in Texas, right and do I don't know skate luge like do luge or whatever down the thing
Yeah.
for Argentina. And he said his goal always when he was training obviously was to get to the bottom as fast as he could.
Mm,
And he said for many Olympics he was doing okay, but he got this new coach, a German guy, and he goes and the guy goes to him, okay, what's your goal? And he said, I want to get to the bottom as fast as I can. And he said, no, it's not your goal. And he goes, what is it? He goes, your goal is to get to the first turn as fast as you can. He
mm.
goes, your second goal is to get to the second turn as fast as you can, and so on and so forth. And when he took that approach of not worrying about getting to the bottom, all he was worried about was the next, how to get to the next turn faster. And he shaved a ton of time off.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
And it's so true, right? Like, you have this big 10-year, big, hairy,
Yeah.
audacious goal. It's audacious, it's big, it's
Yeah.
awesome, it's inspiring. But what do I do right now today? Like,
Yeah.
and I think coming back to the conversion event, the challenge,
Yeah.
you can do that. Just simplify it and say, this is what you do today. It'll be so much more beneficial to them, and they'll find more value with what you share.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why I love your approach because I think it's exactly the same. It's like focus. Yeah, have your ultimate goal, but focus on one step at a time and do that step as best you can and don't get distracted by all the other steps right now.
Yeah.
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 Perfect. Well, listen, Shawn, as usual, you've delivered a lot of value. So thank you for that. All of Shawn's information will be below the video. But before you go, please do remind people about what you do.
Yeah, so I am a scale coach. I support people with scaling their businesses, whether that's on the sales, marketing, or operations side. I come in, I support you. We audit your business and identify where the gaps are, and then we make a plan and execute that plan to a T.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks again, Shawn. Thank you for coming back, and hopefully, we'll see you in the not too distant future. Thank you all for watching and listening as usual, and I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you.